Happy 4th of July, y'all. Happy 4th of July. I'm going over here to work on this little project over here. Just for a few hours. We got family coming in. So I'm gonna put the tooth bucket on to begin with, and I'm gonna start smoothing the ground. Gotta start smoothing some of the ground. It's just looking bad over there. And in case the owner comes, I want him to see that I got it looking really good. And then we're gonna at some point we're probably gonna end up throwing grass seed down. I'm gonna walk around right here real quick while I feel like it. So you guys can see what I'm dealing with here. Now, I mean, look how big this hole is right here. See, and there's all kinds of, there's still just a lot of stumps. But I pretty much got this whole area right here, y'all. All the way from that pile of debris right there, all the way this way. I'm gonna knock that pile down. But see, some of this stuff, like these little ones, I could put in this hole right here, you know, and cover them up, because we're not really gonna be building nothing here or anything. So, you know, but these stumps are huge, man. That is. See that? It's freaking massive, man. But see, that's why you need somebody like Bo over here. So after I get done, like, I'm gonna throw some of this stuff down in the hole. But I got these woods over here. The owner told me to put everything in these woods right here. So, yeah. And seeing that pile right there, has got some debris in it. But I may be able to, you know, press that pile down, spread it out along here, in here. Main thing is to get rid of the bamboo, right? But also, we want to make it where you put a lawnmower or a brush cutter on it without big rocks like that, you know, and without big grooves where the lawnmower will fall in a hole. But this is tore up pretty freaking good from this, you know, digging the stumps out. So there's a couple of stumps between that pile and that pile. But I think this pile right here, once I smooth everything out and make it where I'm gonna make sure that I got all the stumps. That's deep, man. That's that's 4.5 foot, 5 foot deep right there. So, yeah. Anyway, enough with the commentary. Let's get to work, y'all. Let's get to work. Well, let's let the Bobcat get to work, and I'm just gonna operate it with listen to some, I don't know, what am I gonna listen to today? How about some AC/DC, y'all? Yeah. All right. So I don't know what just happened to the Bobcat, but it just died on me. There was a light that was flashing on it, and then it died. I don't know what the deal is. I mean, it didn't make no noise or nothing. It just died. I don't know what it could be, y'all. Well, I'm a little bit spooked, because I've never done that before. It wasn't under any kind of stress or nothing. I was just, you know, going along through here. So a couple things I'm gonna check real quick. We know it's got fluid in it, because I put fluid in it this morning. I don't know what it could be, but so it didn't run hot or nothing, you know. I check all this every day before I use it. I'm a little bit scared to crank it back up, to be honest with y'all. Yeah, I don't really know, man. I checked the oil in it while I was on the trailer. I mean, the oil's a little black, but, you know, the oil's a little dark. I'm not sure, y'all. I mean, it could have hit a bad spot in the fuel, I guess. It didn't seem like it bogged down or nothing. Of course, I had my headphones on, so I didn't hear everything. It didn't make a crazy noise, just I could hear the machine. Let me turn the cab here. But yeah, it could have broke down in a whole lot worse place. And I don't know if this broke down. It might fire right back up. I just want to let it cool down some, just in case it's some kind of heat related thing. Yeah, man, I don't know, dude. I'm a little bit spooked out right now. But either way, man, I mean, I'm not gonna go without a Bobcat. See, you'd think the machine break down, or, you know, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distant right now, so I'm thinking. You'd think if the machine broke down, well, that's it. You're out. You're out of the game. I'll go get another machine, even if I had to finance one. But you see how when things like this happen, and I don't know that it's nothing serious yet, so I'm just gonna let it cool off for, you know, 10 minutes or so. The machine, I mean, y'all saw how long I've been running it. It wasn't long at all. I don't want to damage nothing though, because to put an engine in this machine, you're talking about a lot of money. You might as well just buy another machine, you know. And I always think that. Now, I guess it could have been one of the drive motors bogged down or locked up. I don't know. Everything seems to be working real good. It's probably just a fuel thing. Hit a bad spot in the fuel or something. I'm hoping, praying. Yeah. But this just turned into some high stress shit now, y'all. And that's why when you have a machine like this, you can't work for free, because whatever is wrong with it, I'm gonna get it down here to the shade, and I'm gonna do some research real quick on the if it'll crank. All right, crank it up. Hurry up. Let's see what it is, man. So the smart thing to do here, y'all, if you're me, is to crank it up and put it on the trailer real quick if it'll crank, just in case something happens, or something is something that you know, that's beyond what I can fix myself, because then it's a whole nother thing to get it onto a trailer, you know. I can analyze it and everything when it's sitting on the back of the trailer, if it'll crank. So I need to crank it up real quick, get this dirt out of the bucket. Or, matter of fact, just drop the bucket right here. Damn, man. It didn't smoke or nothing, man. So, I mean, I don't think it's nothing major, y'all. But I'm going through, see, you go through every scenario when something like this happens. Every scenario, the good, the bad, and the real, real ugly. And this all happens like, for me, it all happens in my head in a period of, 10 seconds. Okay. Because there's no pressing work with the Bobcat right now. This is not pressing. I'm doing this job, little by little. So, but if I have to put this machine in the shop, then it's gonna probably take all the money that I'm making on this job, because I'm not really charging him, retail. I got a good, honest mechanic though that can work on it, man. So my goal right now is to get it to the trailer and get it on the trailer. So I don't want to run it any longer than I have to until I'm able to do a little bit of research. All right, y'all. Let's see if it'll crank. Oh God, here we go. So it fired right up, so I don't know. We get on level here. I'm going to check everything on it, man. So we're probably going to continue working and see if it does it again. Yeah. If it does it again, then I'm going to know it's a pattern. And I'm going to be watching that light right there. I mean, you got the same thing. You got the engine. You got the hydraulics. Yeah, the only thing with this one right here is it's liquid cooled. So that's another factor you got to watch out for, but it's a lot more powerful too. Everything is bigger. It's basically does the same thing. The pump on here is just huge, because everything on it is hydraulic. There's the engine runs a hydraulic pump, and that's pretty much it from what I understand. And I'm not a mechanic on it or nothing, don't get me wrong, but I've had it for a couple of years, we're going on 3 years, and that's the kind of that's what I've learned about it over time. But the hydraulics on here is a lot more complicated than a lawnmower. The lawnmower hydraulics just move it, and that's all it does. This hydraulics does everything, and y'all see it includes running the attachments, the wheel motors, or the track motors, whatever you want to call them, and of course lifting and lowering the bucket and digging and all that. But see, the one time, y'all, one of the few times that I put headphones on, the machine goes down like that. And I didn't hear anything. And that's why, one of the reasons why I don't like to wear headphones while I'm running these machines. And I know this video has changed a little bit, but this is the name of the game. I went from just gonna do a, drag and dirt video to now I'm like, man, I don't even know if I want to run the machine anymore. But it's going to have to do it again, and I'm going to not have no headphones on or nothing this time. So I'm going to run it the rest of the time I'm here, and if it does it again, then I'm going to be wanting to take it to the shop. Of course, you can't take it to the shop today. But these machines, they never break down when you can take it from the job to the shop. Never. So just because you got a Bobcat don't mean that you're going to just crank that sucker up and just have a field day. It don't work like that, y'all. It don't. It just don't work like that. But you got to know this too, y'all. that when you're running a machine like this and you own a machine like this, that you better put aside money to fix it in case something goes wrong. You know, unless you're gonna be the mechanic. Now I don't mind working on some of my stuff, but the Bobcat's not one of them. But just some of the things that you have to have, you know, when you go from doing lawns to doing this type of work, and you've never done this type of work before, well, you got to be, and you're learning on the job. I'm basically learning on the job. They ain't got no school for this. You know, I didn't have nobody teach me how to run a Bobcat. I had to learn all that on my own. But when you see a guy with a rig like, when you see a guy riding down the road and he's got all this rig like this, and he's got the trailer, and he's got a Bobcat, and you and you say, damn, I wish I had all that, or damn, I bet he's making a killing, you know. At the end of the day, it's a lot. It's a lot to remember. It's a lot to keep up with. As far as maintenance goes, as far as there's just so many things that can go wrong out here. Not only in the lawn care game. The lawn care game is relatively simple. Well, I don't want to say that. The lawn care game is a lot different. Because, but number one reason why I feel like it's so different is because I'm used to it. I've been doing it for so long. I've not been in this game that long. And, if somebody's going out, I had a guy come in the comments yesterday, and he was saying, man, I'd like to get me a Bobcat and a skid steer, with the forestry mulcher and all that. See, I don't agree with that. I'm not saying that a forestry mulcher is a bad thing, but I'm not going from cutting grass to a forestry mulcher, because there's so much to freaking learn, unless you got somebody already in the business in that game. If you got somebody already in the forestry mulching game, then you're good. You can learn from them, ask them questions and stuff. But, well, I still wouldn't want to, because in my area there's not enough forestry mulching work that I know of. So that tells you that I'm not ready to do that, right? If I don't know about how much work I can get with a forestry mulcher or not, then I'm not ready to buy a forestry mulcher. The work's got to be overwhelmingly, known for me to go out and spend that kind of money. Because a forestry, this machine that I have, y'all, is not going to run a forestry mulcher, okay? It's not powerful enough. When you step into the forestry mulcher, you're stepping into a whole other line of skid steers, and the forestry mulcher itself. I know some guys that are in the forestry mulching game, and but they do a lot more than just forestry mulching. If I were I'm gonna get into the Bobcat game or the skid steer game, in general. I would start out with a track machine, number one. You will have to spend some money. I would do a track machine, and I would do a machine, something like this T190, really, to start out with. Could this T190 use a little more power? Yeah, I could use a little more power at this point, but I made my money back on it. I learned a lot with it, and it didn't break the bank. I know 25 grand, 24, whatever. I think 24 grand, yeah, is, that's a lot of money, and I had to pay cash for it. So there's no financing on this, because I was scared to finance one, because I didn't know nothing about them, because I didn't know exactly what kind of work I'd be doing. I just knew I had a few customers that wanted Bobcat work done, with a bucket, So it really goes back to managing your money. So, you have to run a forestry mulcher, though, you need probably a 90 horsepower machine or more. You might be able to run one with a 85 horsepower machine, but it's not going to be ideal, I don't think.
You need a big boy one with all the breathers and all on it and everything. If you're gonna, the machines that I got a couple of buddies of mine. Well, they're not buddies of mine, but I know them. They do forestry mulching, and their rig. They got a cat. I don't know. It's 100 plus horsepower skid steer. It's big. It's wide, and it's heavy. 13,000 pounds or something like that. But for that machine, for the skid steer, not brand new, not even brand new. Brand new, there ain't no telling. But he told me that for the machine and the mulcher head, it's over $100,000. I believe it. Because the mulching head, and it goes back to just about everything that you do. You can buy a cheaper one and probably have a lot of problems with it, or you can buy a really good one and have minimal problems with it. Same way with a skid steer or whatever. Now, I'm not biased to Bobcat skid steers. I just bought this Bobcat because, well, it was available in my area. I didn't have to go nowhere or nothing, and and I had the money to buy it. So, but I would not go from cutting lawns for 3 or 4 years to full-fledged forestry mulching skid steer work. That's just me. I have to learn a lot before I do that. I have been in, I have been cutting grass for about 11 years, 12 years before I bought a Bobcat. So I had already mustered up a bunch of work. Not a bunch, but enough work to, yeah. So what I'm going to do, y'all, is I'm going to set you guys back up where you were at, and I'm going to put it back on time lapse, and I'm going to continue on with this work here. We're going to see what the machine does. Except for this time, I'm not going to have my headphones in. All right, y'all. Alright, y'all, that's a wrap on the day, man. It's too late for a Sammy. I didn't get a lot of footage. I'm not even sure if I'm going to post a video today. So, hope everybody has a happy 4th of July. Shrey, I'll kick back with you guys tomorrow.